In the following game, I was playing black against the reigning world chess champion Viswanathan Anand. It was a very interesting encounter since the reigning world chess champion played against the reigning women's world chess champion. And what's even more interesting, the reigning women's world chess champion won in this game. Anand started the game with the Queen's Gambit, which I accepted and went on and played the Vena variation, which often leads to very sharp and complicated play, and black often gets some counter chances. In the following game, I needed to sacrifice a piece, but in exchange got a very strong pawn's censure, which forced white to give back this piece a few moves later. After Anand gave away the sacrificed piece, I got a very strong position due to the pin of the knight on e4, which Anand wasn't able to protect because his queen on h6 was unfortunately placed. So Anand decided to sacrifice this piece, and I missed a very nice checkmating combination, but since I was leading in material, I was able to convert this material to a full point, even though that some moves I had to play really fast since I had 10 seconds or less. It was a very interesting and complicated game, and I'm very glad that I was able to stay focused and calm till the very last move, and was able to win against the reigning world chess champion.
Hello everybody, I'm Alexandra Kosteniuk and I'll comment for you one of my Blitz games from the 2009 World Blitz Chess Championship that was played in Moscow in November 2009. In this game, I'm playing black against the reigning world champion Viswanathan Anand. I think it's always interesting when a reigning world champion meets the reigning women's world champion. In this championship, I played 2 games against Anand. That's the second one. The first one was also very interesting, but I didn't succeed in the first one. And of course, somewhere deep in my heart, I wanted to take revenge. So we're ready to start. You see that there are many chess fans that are rooting, that are watching this game. Okay, a few more seconds before the beginning of the round. It was the 26th round and I'm starting the clock. The game started with d4, knight f6, c4, e6, knight f3, d5, knight c3, the Queen's Gambit, d takes c4, I accepted this gambit, and Anand played e4, which is the most aggressive way to meet this variation. Bishop b4, the pin, I'm pinning the knight on c3, bishop g5, counter pin, c5, e5, c takes d4. Another possibility for black here is to play h6, which leads to a slightly better endgame for white, and where black doesn't have that many interesting chances. So that's why I played c takes d4, and Anand immediately replied with a queen a4 check. Another popular choice for white here is to take on d4 with the knight, knight takes d4, and after queen a5 there is a long theory with approximately equal play. But Anand decides to continue to play the most aggressive way and gives a check on a4. I play knight c6. Now both knights, whites on c3 and blacks on f6 are pinned. Now white pins the d4 pawn. And here, even though I'm still thinking bishop d7, still a very well-known theory. After bishop d7, I'm sacrificing the knight. It's actually basically the only good choice for black in this position. Anand immediately replied with knight e4. Again, I'm taking my time. Even though it happened a few times in my games, I'm just making sure that I remember everything. Bishop e7, e takes f6, g takes f6, bishop h4. Right now, black has 3 pawns and a strong pawn center for the knight, which gives enough compensation for the sacrificed piece. I played e5. The most popular reply for black here is rook c8 instead of e5, which I already used in my game against Maya Chiburdanidze in 2005. But in this game I decided to play a quite rare variation. Now I'm thinking, shall I take the bishop immediately? Or I found another very interesting intermediate move, because king takes f7 was possible, but it gives white more chances, and in a blitz game it's difficult to understand what will happen after knight takes e5 or knight g5 check, and what all this complication will lead to. So in order to avoid all those complications, I just played intermediate move bishop b5, and after this move white's queen needs to go away, queen d2, and after this I can just simply take on f7, and very interesting moment, queen h6. Actually it's almost the decisive mistake. White should have played king b1 instead, since now I have a very strong queen's maneuver, which I will be able to find, which neutralizes all of white's threats, and at the same time creates a deadly pin of the knight on e4. Probably Anand, when he was playing queen h6, he played it pretty fast, as we saw, didn't notice this move, queen c8 check, and white has the only move now. He has to play king b1 and queen f5. And what happened that I moved my queen from d8 to f5, where he protects my king. At the same time I'm pinning the knight on e4, which is needed to be protected, and the queen on h6 is too far away from the place where actually the game is taking place right now. Rook h to e1, protecting the knight, but the problem is that I will attack it one more time, bishop c6, with the idea after rook d takes e4 to take on e4 with the queen, and then to give the back rank mate. And that's why Anand played rook a4, protecting from knight b3 at the same time, but I have 2 extra pieces, a bishop and a knight, and it should be possible to win the game. But we should remember that I have only 10 seconds left on the clock. Knight c6, g4, queen takes g4, f3, and now queen g6, trying to exchange the queens, queen f4. Now I should play really fast and precise, bishop c2, in order to win the game. Rook c4, bishop d3, rook c1, after some hesitation, rook h to e8, queen c7. Of course my position is won, and it's just a question of being precise. Knight e5, queen b7, rook d7, queen b3, king f8, bishop g3, queen f7, queen a4, bishop b5, queen e4, knight d3, fork, rook g1, bishop c5, discovered attack. So all the combinations that you can think of. Bishop, queen h4, bishop takes g1, rook takes g1. Knight e5, bishop f4. Knight g6, another fork, bishop h6, king g8, queen b4, rook e to d8. Doubling the rook, and Anand resigned, since I have an extra rook and an extra knight. A very interesting and complicated game, which led me to win against the reigning world champion Vishy Anand.